Mr. Beast was in Kenya.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Oh, crap!
And was able to sink 52 out of 100 boreholes that were sunk in Africa in a span of 8 months. And we have people are happy, we have people are not happy. You're going to look at that. We also have the digital ID in Kenya, which was launched. And we have the mentioning of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the ID that's being injected into people. Raising concerns. We have controversies around that. We're going to look into that a little bit. And also, we have the signs and symptoms of El-Nino. We're going to look at that also. Now, let's start with Mr. Beast. Now, for those who don't actually know who he is, he's a very huge YouTuber. The revenue usually plows back into making better videos and even helping other people there. Those people are homeless, building houses for them, and even just doing random acts of kindness. And this is not the first time he was in Kenya. I was able to donate e-bikes in Kenya to help in the locals for water transportation and easing how well they can be able to access water by transporting them easily using e-bikes. That was genius. Not only in Kenya, he was able to fund life-saving surgeries in the Cure Hospital in Philippines, and the surgeries were able to rectify some malformation and kids were able to walk again. And also he was able to provide prosthetics legs for the amputees in Cambodia and cleaning the ocean. Ocean, everyone knows, we are polluting the ocean and it affects the ecosystem. And if you can remember, he was able to plant so many trees from the team trees. Recently, he sank 100 boreholes in Africa, 52 in Kenya. Now, not everyone was happy about this. People are claiming that he's using the poor to benefit. Now, look around you. We have so many NGOs and other humanitarian organizations that usually use the poor and the vulnerable to do the same thing. They lobby fee or they lobby funding by the claim that they're going to help the poor. Okay, it's a good thing. Now, who wins? The poor person. I don't care if they're taking the photos, so long as at the end of the day, the person is going to benefit, it's okay. We have others saying that he's doing what the government is supposed to be doing so that everyone can be able to access the free resources free of charge. But then it takes time. And who is suffering? The person who is benefiting currently from the act of kindness they are getting now. I would want the government to, no, just look at the scenario. He was able to sink 52 boreholes in a span of 8 months. It took our president, I don't know how long, and even the Thika Road was closed down to go and launch a borehole that was sunk somewhere in Githurai, just a single one. This person, Mr. Beast, came in Kenya silently and for a span of 8 months was able to sink those 52 boreholes. And the politicians, once they sink even a single borehole, everyone will know in the world. And actually, that's the work they should be doing. Anyway, they should feel challenged. And for the people who are complaining about them using the poor to benefit, you're sitting somewhere behind a keyboard. You have a sparkling bottle of water. But we have people out there in the society that are accessing water from a puddle just by the roadside. Why can't you just do something about that? We have other YouTubers who've been to Kenya to offer those acts of kindness, and we're really grateful about that. We have Zach from Jerry Rig Everything, you know, that guy who usually buy a very expensive phone just to break it. Also, we have Dan from What's Inside Family. I've been watching their videos. I wish I can just join them in one of their missions here. Also, even join maybe Mr. Beast and Jack Rig Everything. I should watch their video. Dan will be that person who will just buy a very expensive Nike shoe just to cut it into two. This reminds me when I was young, I would open a TV to just look for the people who are just talking inside. We are really grateful about what they are doing, and we would want even more people to come and just do this. We want to have so many human beings doing good for the other human beings. I really would love that. Anyway, what do you think? A stranger coming from so many miles away, coming to Kenya, sinking 52 boreholes within a span of 8 months, and the government is here. It's been, I think, so how many years, and we don't have so many boreholes. Anyway, let me hear your opinions in the comment region. In other news, El-Nino rains. Now, there was a scientific prophecy, pun intended, that was prophesying that you're going to have El-Nino rains starting from this month, going all the way forward. But then it kind of delayed. We didn't have them. But then we're starting to see the signs and symptoms of the rains because you're having a lot of them. Okay, we are supposed to expect the short rains during this period, but then they are a little bit more. But then we still have a mixed reaction because sometimes you're getting the rains and unexpectedly. And then we have sunshine all over, so we don't actually know whether it will be El-Nino or something. But then we are starting to see the floods and all those. Now, there are several things that really come with heavy rains, and I want to show you some of the things you can do to take precautions. Now, the first one, people usually die, and even livestock, and even the food is usually destroyed from the floods. And I would want you to avoid waterlogging areas, because this is where most of those things will happen. Now, we have increased cases of waterborne diseases like typhoid and cholera. We've seen this. Every time you have flooding, you have sewage coming into contact with the fresh water that you're going to drink. So I would advise you to always make sure you're boiling water. And to make it even a little bit better, boil that water and put it in a container that you can be able to access every time you need clean water. And also make sure you're cooking your food and warming it adequately to make sure that you don't have the pathogens or the germs in that food. Now, we have malaria incidences that will start to go up. And this is one of those months that, okay, trust me, this is a very conducive environment for the growth and spreading of the malaria. And adding to the fact that we have the Plasmodium stephensi, which can breed literally everywhere. It can be in towns, in somewhere in a forest, everywhere. They can just be there and they can spread malaria. So we are going to have incidences of malaria. So make sure during this period, you make sure you have mosquito repellents, you have mosquito nets, and avoid having like a pad of water somewhere close. You can either use oil to cover that area or drain them if you can be able to do that, so that you remove areas where that can be. And also even the containers that can hold water somewhere outside where they can breed those mosquitoes. So just try to get rid of them. We have respiratory infections like flu and COVID and some other that will take advantage of the fact that now you're not getting enough sunshine, so you're not getting enough vitamin D. And this vitamin D, like we mentioned, usually influence your calcium. And calcium is one of the things that will be used by signaling of your immune system. So make sure, one, if you cannot be able to access enough sunshine, increase your intake of vitamin D. This is through food, and we've mentioned that in the previous videos. And also calcium. Do you see the bones? Boil them and get calcium from them. And also vitamin C. So take in a lot of fruits and also vegetables. We have emergency numbers that will be used by the government. I'm going to have them share. In case maybe you have an emergency, you can just contact them for whatever emergency that you have concerning El-Nino rains. In other news, the launching of the digital IDs in Kenya, or the Maisha card. Now, we have several concerns. I'm sure you've seen what it does, what they are planning to do with it. This is going to register everyone, and they're going to start off with those who are being born. So instead of giving them birth certificates, they're going to get the digital ID, and they're going to scan the iris and also get the fingerprints, and the biometrics will be used to identify you throughout your life. And also those who are planning to change their card, maybe it's defaced or maybe it's deformed or maybe you lost one, you're going to offer the biometrics for a digital ID. Now, we have several concerns. One is the mentioning of the Bills and Melinda Gates. It's a household name because we've seen them during the COVID time offering the vaccination and supporting that. They are now supporting this. Also, this is coming after the scandal about the iris scanning for the cryptocurrency just the other day. So I don't know the relationship between them. And I heard that the president was there to see the CEO for the same. I don't know whether he was going to acquire the data. I'm not sure. Now, I have several concerns. One, for the iris scan, we have people without the eyes. How are we going to get the data from the iris? Also, for the fingerprints, we have people without the fingers. They don't have their hands. So where are we going to get their fingerprints? Also, before we even continue with the concerns, you remember there was a mention of the ID chips that will be implanted into the babies, and they're going to use that for the surveillance. I don't know about that. I've not seen anything being mentioned about that, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. Anyway, I'm not saying that that's not possible. It can be done. We've seen demonstration in other places, but I'm not sure whether that's what they're going to do because I'm not seeing that in any reputable organization mentioning that. So maybe you're not going to get that. Maybe you're going to get, I don't know. I'm not sure. Until maybe later on, that's when you're going to know exactly what this will be. Now, for those being born and being offered a digital ID instead of a birth certificate, what will happen to those who are being born somewhere not even close to a maternity? There is no hospital close, so they are born in the villages. What will happen to them? Are they also going to be injected with the same chip? Anyway, there's no chip that's being injected into people, but you're going to know. Anyway, what do you think? I would want to get your views in the comment region. In other news, we have people alleging that the high-rises that are being built in Easleigh, it's at the expense of the money being given to marginalized communities, so that money is being looted and building the high-rises in Easleigh. This was the photo that caught my attention. So in case that's what they are doing, this is very bad. Anyone within the Kenyan borders should be able to access health, but I'm not saying that that's what they are doing. So that's a very sad situation. We might be having a patient inside there, so they're struggling to get somewhere in a hospital, or maybe that's an ambulance that's trying to get to a patient somewhere very remote. I don't know whether you should have Mr. Beast coming and starting to build roads and hospitals in our rural areas. I don't know. What's your thought? Maybe you should tell us in the comments. What do you think about the whole thing?